Look at my wonderful collection of 5th games in the series. Except for that one! Ah! Hello everyone, this is Xander, your pilot speaking, and welcome to Xander on Autopilot. The smoothest ride from here to absolutely nowhere. About video games. That was a horrible transition. My apologies. Anyway, as you could probably tell from that brief little intro, the topic of today's discussion is the absence of Sly 5 and what it could possibly be. Right now, Sly 5 is just in limbo. I don't even know who has the rights to it anymore. Does Sanzaru? Sucker Punch? I don't remember. Anyway, if you guys aren't familiar with the Sly series, well, where have you been? And let me just give you a brief little rundown on what it actually is. Also, I don't really script any of these videos, so you're just gonna have to deal with me stuttering and beating around the bush a lot, because this is my first time doing this type of thing. Anyway, let's get right on to it. Sly Cooper, or Sly Raccoon in the UK, because apparently his last name is a bad word. Yikes. Anyway, it's a series of stealth action platformers developed by Sucker Punch, and eventually given to Sanzaru Games for the 4th installment. But I'll get into that maybe in another video. I might review them. Anyway, so the series last ended on Sly 4, and if you haven't played the game, well then spoilers ahead, okay? It kind of ended with Sly kind of getting lost in time. He wound up in Egypt, and well, we haven't heard anything anything Sly since then. I mean, there was going to be a Sly Cooper movie in 2016, but they decided to scrap it after the failure of the Ratchet and Clank movie. Anyway, so that was the last thing we ever heard from Sly, and it's kind of upsetting because I need my Sly fix. But I want them to be able to take their time. Maybe they are developing it. If not, then I'm sad. It needs to happen. Anyway, these are just some ideas that I had for Sly 5, and I'm just gonna cover them, and maybe you guys could tell me what you think in the comments below. So, for the first idea is, the Sly games have always been E for Everyone, or an E for Everyone 10 and up, even the newest game. And I just have to say that the fans of the game, we're already older now, you know? I mean, whenever I played it, I was like, what, like 8 or something? And now I'm an adult. A bad adult, but I'm an adult. Anyway. So I think that the games really do need to age. I'm not saying that they need to be M for mature, but I mean, obviously not. I would say T for teen is actually a good rating for them. Because, well, Sly 3 was pretty dark, Sly 4 kind of was less dark, but anyway, the series was heading to a darker place, and I really did appreciate that. And I think that a T for teen rating would allow a lot more freedom in terms of storytelling, because the games have always been just kind of a basic story, you know. You gotta, in the first game it was your family book was taken and you have to retrieve the pages back from a criminal gang. The second one was you gotta go find these robotic parts. And then the third game was you gotta look for new recruits, you know, but it's still focused on around the same thing of you gotta go and beat bosses, you know? And Sly 4 kind of felt like it was trying to bring in some sort of story about family, but it just kind of fell short. You could have replaced any of the ancestors with, you know, just some random character and it still would have fit. You know, it was, you could see hints of, oh, it's a story about family, but it kind of fell short. I think Sly 5 would have a better way of telling that sort of story. You know, if it had a T for teen rating, it'd be able to deal with much more mature topics, expand on Sly's father's death. You know, not to a graphic point. I mean, it was already kind of graphic, you know, with the silhouettes and all. But you know, just allow the series to become to age with the fan base, and you know, improve some of the gameplay aspects so it's not as easy. I kind of felt like Sly 4 became a bit more easy in the parkour section, if any of you guys know what I'm talking about, where you could be underneath like a line, and then a line. Sorry about that. The audio kind of cut out for a little bit. Anyway, you know, and you would immediately just kind of warp right up to it. It was definitely simplified, which, I mean, I guess it was good for any newcomers, but in all honesty, the people... Personally, Sly 4 is not my favorite game in the series, but it's still good, just it's not as good as what I wish it would have been. Anyway, Sly 5 would be a chance to show the fans that whoever is going to be developing it, I don't know, Sucker Punch, Sanzaru, Nintendo, I don't care. You know, just to show them, hey, we're not afraid to, you know, let you guys know that we're going to evolve with you. And that kind of brings me up to my next point is gameplay wise. The gameplay for Sly has always been rather simplistic at the start, and then you gain upgrades, and then it becomes a bit more fluid. I really like that. And in Sly 4 they introduced the combos where you could press the attack button and then the triangle button, and it would do a combo for whoever you were playing as. I think that was only limited to Sly, his ancestors, and Murray. I don't know if Bentley could do it. Anyway, you know, have them be able, have those types of things, maybe a better combat system, because, yeah, the game has always been more about stealth, and whenever you would get caught by, like, a larger guard, your main idea was to run away, but I feel like sometimes there just isn't a way to run away. So I would kind of like a way to be able to take on those guys in a better, more fluid fashion than before. You know, just revamp the combat system. Also, I think it'd be really interesting to bring back the gang members from Sly 3. For those of you who have played Sly 3, you know that the game focuses around them finding new gang members, and you know, we had some memorable characters such as the Guru, Panda King came back, you know. It was great. It was really great. Anyway, this is just an idea that would allow a lot more of a variety to the gameplay, because Sly 4 just did not feel very varied. Very varied. Well, in Sly 5, granted you couldn't play as those characters anytime you wanted, they were only, you know, in a few missions, but that wasn't really a problem. It was fun. But with Sly 4, you either played as Sly or the ancestors, and rarely did you play as any of the other characters. In fact, Carmelita didn't have any missions of her own. She was always a part of another mission. And I just feel like that's unacceptable. I mean, Bentley and Murray are still a part of the group. I know that they're trying to focus more on the ancestors, but you can't just cut them out like that. They're Sly's family too. And, you know, this video is not supposed to really be funny. I promise I'll be funnier in others. But I also realize that this episode is getting kind of long. So, if you want me to go into more detail, then with how I would imagine a Sly 5 game, you know, more gameplay mechanics and the such, just go ahead and tell me that in the comments below. I'll see you all next time. Thank you for watching, and if you liked it, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, it would really help me out. See you all next time. Bye.